Welcome to Gilded Tragedies, the channel that pulls back the curtain on the glittering world of old money dynasties, forgotten empires, and the hidden curses that lurk behind marble walls and velvet drapes. Here, we reveal what gilded fortunes never dare to whisper aloud. They were once the richest family America had ever known. Their wealth could have bought nations. They built railroads that stitched a continent together, mansions that rivaled European palaces, and parties that defined an era of excess. And then, in the blink of 3 generations, it all disappeared. This is the tragic downfall of the Vanderbilt Dynasty, a story of ruthless ambition, unimaginable opulence, heartbreaking scandals, and the quiet, devastating truth that no amount of gold can buy wisdom. Picture this. A boy born in a modest Dutch farmhouse on Staten Island borrows $100 from his mother at age 16. With nothing but grit and cunning, he turns that single boat into an empire worth over $100 million by 1877, more than the entire U.S. Treasury held at the time. His heirs live like royalty, 70-room cottages in Newport, a 250-room chateau sprawling across 125,000 acres, yachts larger than warships. Yet behind every chandelier and gilded ceiling lay fractures no outsider could see. Lavish spending without restraint, family wars over inheritance, divorces splashed across headlines, a refusal to pass down the one secret old money must master: preserve the fortune above all else. What gilded fortunes hide is simple and brutal. Wealth without discipline is the shortest road to oblivion. Tonight, we walk every step of this rise and ruin, from humble beginnings to glittering peaks to the silent collapse that left only echoes of a name. Stay until the end. The deepest tragedies are yet to come. Cornelius Vanderbilt entered the world on May 27, 1794, in a simple farmhouse on Staten Island. His family scraped by ferrying goods across New York Harbor. But young Cornelius saw opportunity where others saw only water. At 16, he borrowed $100 from his mother, a fortune for a poor family, and bought his own small boat. He undercut every competitor: lower fares, faster runs, relentless work. By his 20s, rivals called him the Commodore for his iron command of the seas. During the War of 1812, he supplied the government, built a fleet, and earned a reputation for cold calculation. "There is no friendship in trade," he once declared. That ruthlessness propelled him forward. In the 1850s, he pivoted to railroads, the iron veins of a growing nation. He acquired failing lines, merged them ruthlessly, and forged the New York Central Railroad, connecting New York to the Midwest. Efficiency replaced chaos. Fortunes followed. When he died on January 4, 1877, at 82, Cornelius left $100 million, roughly $3 billion today. He willed the bulk to his son, William Henry, bypassing most siblings. That decision planted the first seeds of resentment. William Henry, known as Billy, proved worthy. In just 8 years, he doubled the inheritance to over $200 million. Under him, the New York Central became a colossus. But already the shift whispered, from builders to spenders. Billy's children, Cornelius II, William Kissam Vanderbilt, George Washington Vanderbilt, embraced a life their grandfather would have scorned. They married aristocracy, hosted balls costing fortunes, commissioned architects to erect monuments in stone. What gilded fortunes never teach heirs, the empire was forged in discipline. Once the money seemed infinite, discipline evaporated. The Vanderbilt name became the synonym of excess in the Gilded Age. Cornelius II built the Breakers in Newport, a 70-room Italian Renaissance masterpiece finished in 1895. Marble imported from Italy, a great hall soaring 50 feet, electric lights when most homes flickered with gas. It was not a home, it was a statement.
His wife, Alva Vanderbilt, orchestrated the legendary 1883 costume ball, $3 million spent, over $100 million today. 1,200 guests in extravagant gowns, living statues, exotic animals. It forced New York's old society to bow to the new Vanderbilts.
George Vanderbilt went further with Biltmore, America's largest private home. Started 1889, completed 1895. 250 rooms on 125,000 acres in North Carolina. Self-sustaining farm, winery, forest, filled with European art, rare books, tapestries, a chateau born of American ambition. Yachts like the Valiant cruised oceans. Private rail cars carried families in luxury. Presidents, kings, celebrities dined under their roofs. Behind the velvet drapes, perfection cracked. Siblings sued over shares. Marriages ended in scandal. Titles bought in Europe offered no lasting shield. What gilded fortunes hide, extravagance dazzles the world, but silently erodes the foundation. The 20th century exposed the fragility in ways no one could ignore. The 1929 stock market crash delivered a brutal blow to fortunes tied so closely to railroads and industry. As automobiles rose and new competitors multiplied, the New York Central struggled. Maintenance on grand estates became impossible burdens. The Breakers was eventually donated to preservation efforts. Marble House was sold off. The opulent Fifth Avenue mansions, symbols of Vanderbilt power, were demolished one by the 1940s to make way for apartments and offices. Biltmore, the grandest of them all, survived only by opening its doors as a paid tourist attraction starting in the 1930s, a quiet admission that the family could no longer afford to live in its own creation. But the financial losses paled next to the personal tragedies that unfolded. The most haunting chapter centered on Gloria Vanderbilt, born in 1924 to Reginald Vanderbilt and his second wife, Gloria Morgan Vanderbilt. Reginald died suddenly in a plane crash in 1925, when Gloria was just 18 months old, leaving behind a trust fund that became the center of one of the most sensational custody battles in American history. In 1934, newspapers dubbed the 10-year-old the poor little rich girl, as her mother and her aunt, Gertrude Vanderbilt Whitney, fought over her guardianship in a courtroom spectacle that aired every intimate detail of the family's dysfunction. Gloria won a $4 million trust, but the public humiliation left deep scars that never fully healed. As an adult, Gloria became a cultural icon in her own right, launching one of the first designer jeans lines, perfumes, and fashion empires that earned her millions anew. Yet her personal life remained turbulent. 4 marriages, including to conductor Leopold Stokowski, 39 years her senior, director Sidney Lumet, and others marked by passion, heartbreak, and public scrutiny. The deepest wound came on July 22, 1988. Gloria's eldest son, Carter Vanderbilt Cooper, just 23 years old, was struggling with severe depression following a painful breakup. In the early morning hours, he climbed onto the terrace ledge of Gloria's 14th floor Manhattan apartment on East 67th Street. Gloria, awakened by the noise, rushed to the window and pleaded with him desperately to step back inside. For agonizing minutes, she talked to him softly, trying to reach through his despair. He held on briefly, asked if he would ever feel normal again. Then, in a moment that would haunt her forever, he let go. Gloria watched helplessly as her son fell 14 stories to his death below. The grief consumed her. She later wrote of contemplating suicide in the days that followed. Only the thought of leaving her younger son, Anderson, behind kept her alive. The family never recovered from that loss. Carter's suicide became the symbol of the Vanderbilt curse, not supernatural fate, but the accumulated weight of privilege without purpose, excess without boundaries, and unspoken pain passed down through generations.
By the time Gloria herself passed away in 2019 at age 95, her personal estate was valued at less than $1.5 million, a staggering fall from the hundreds of millions once controlled by her ancestors. Lavish lifestyles, crushing taxes, endless division among heirs, poor investments, and the inability to adapt had eroded everything. What gilded fortunes never admit aloud, the so-called curse, is not destiny. It is the failure to teach the next generation the discipline that created the wealth in the first place. Today, the Vanderbilt legacy lives quietly through Anderson Cooper, Gloria's youngest son. A respected CNN journalist, he carved his own path deliberately, using his father's surname to distance himself from the overwhelming shadow of the family name. He has spoken openly and movingly about the hidden pains, the multiple suicides across branches of the family, the profound losses, the slow unraveling of what once seemed unbreakable. Anderson inherited modestly, far from the billions of old, and built a career through relentless work rather than legacy. The mansions now stand as museums or private residences. The railroads are long gone, absorbed into history. The name endures, but the fortune does not. This is the quiet truth behind every gilded dynasty. Empires rise on vision and grit. They fall when heirs forget the vision. The Vanderbilts teach a lesson etched in marble and ruin. Wealth is fleeting without stewardship. The Commodore built from nothing. His descendants built monuments from dreams. But dreams crumble when discipline fades. What gilded fortunes never admit aloud, true power lies not in spending, but in preserving, adapting, teaching restraint, passing wisdom across generations. If this story of rise, excess, heartbreak, and collapse gripped you, if you crave more hidden truths from the world of old money, the forgotten curses, the velvet rope scandals, the tragic lessons history whispers only to those who listen, then hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next gilded tragedy. Like this video if the Vanderbilt downfall shocked you, and drop a comment below. Could they have saved it? Or was the fall inevitable? Share this with someone who needs to hear it. More secrets await behind the curtain. Thank you for joining us at Gilded Tragedies. Until the next hidden story, stay curious, and remember, not all that glitters endures.